you after that.
Okay.
This is your prime slot, then you'll be going inside. And we'll sit you in the spot where you can see everything.
Okay, so I can do video when you talk.
Yeah, Dorothy will take you, okay?
Okay.
Just look out, let's look out for the tell us exactly where it is.
Can you see here? It's okay because he's going to be moving anyway, so I don't want to block it. Oh, so we can't even go inside the temple?
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Females are not allowed into the temple?
You are, because right now he's with the samples, you're not allowed to go into the samples.
Oh, really? Okay, so no females are allowed into the temple?
No, you are allowed.
Yeah.
It's just that right now the premier is with the samples.
Okay.
So we're trying to refrain.
Oh, so we have to avoid the Santos. But are we allowed, so while they're in there, we cannot go in there?
Yes.
I get it. So they're considered what, priests?
Similar, but not exactly.
Okay. So there's some women going in there.
Yeah, you can go there with them.
આરતીની ખાસ જાહેરાત જોઈ લઈશું કે જે આરતી આપણે આપણા બાળકોને ના આપીએ આરતી માટે બાળકો માટે જેની વ્યવસ્થા કરી છે તો સ્વયંસેવકો જે પ્રમાણે સૂચના આપે તે પ્રમાણે જ આપણે બાળકોને આરતી આપીશું અને આપણી પાસે આરતી આવી જાય તો પણ હમણાં આપણે પ્રગટાવીશું નહીં જ્યારે અહીંથી જાહેરાત કરવામાં આવે ત્યારે જ આપણે આરતી પ્રગટાવીશું આજની આપણી ભારતીય સભાની અંદર પ્રીમિયર પધારી ચૂક્યા છે તો આપણે સૌ મહિલા તેમજ ભાઈઓ વિનંતી કરીએ કે આપણે શાંતિ જાળવીશું આપણે તેમનું સ્વાગત કરીએ છીએ
What does it symbolize? It's just a form of faith.
ખરેખર આવા સ્થિત પ્રજ્ઞા ગુણાતીત સંત જ ભગવાનનું રહેવાનું ધામ છે આવા સંત જીવનો શિવ કરી ભગવાનને ધામને આપણને પહોંચાડે છે એટલે જ ઉપનિષદ આવા અક્ષરબ્રહ્મ સંતને પરબ્રહ્મ પરમાત્માને પામવાનો સેતુ તરીકે બતાવે છે શ્રીમદ ભાગવત પણ આવા સંતના પ્રસંગને જ મોક્ષના દ્વારનું બતાવે છે તો આવો આજના ઉત્સવે તે ભગવાનને અત્યંત પ્રિય છે એવા સ્થિત પ્રજ્ઞ ગુણાતીત સંત પરમ પૂજ્ય પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજના વિડીયોમાં આપણે દર્શન કરી વિડીયો દર્શન દ્વારા
प्रत्येक व्यक्ति जीवन के द्वंद्वों में स्थिरता प्रदान कर सके ऐसे व्यक्तित्व की तलाश में आज कलियुग में ऐसी विभूति विश्व को मिली है परम पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज अहिंसू और अविरत भक्तिरत परम पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज नक्शी एक आध्यात्मिक विभूति है उनकी स्थित प्रज्ञ स्थिति ही उनकी साक्षी विश्वविख्यात शिक्षणविद रूडियट किपलिंग कहते हैं कि अगर आप राजाओं के हमराही होने के बावजूद सामान्य जनों से भी संपर्क कर पाते हैं तो ये सकल सृष्टि आप परम पूज्य स्वामी महाराज ऐसे संत जिन्होंने महान होने के बावजूद आम जनों से संपर्क करवाया परम पूज्य प्रभु स्वामी महाराज दिल्ली स्थित अद्वितीय स्वामीनारायण अक्षरधाम के सर्जक हैं विश्वमान्य होने पर भी वे नन्हे मुन्ने बालकों के साथ बड़े प्रेम से मिल सकते हैं और नन्हे मुन्ने बालक भी उनसे उतने ही लगाव से मिल लेते हैं परम पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज का हाथ जिस प्रेम से प्रधानमंत्री या राष्ट्रपति से मिल सकता है उतने ही प्रेम से बच्चों के साथ खेल भी सकता है कोई सामान्य बालक के दुख दर्द दूर करने में उतनी ही खुली रहती है एक तरफ जब पूरा विश्व परम पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज को सम्मानित करता है दूसरी तरफ मौका पाकर परम पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज छोटे बालकों को सम्मानित कर देते हैं जो चरण रोकदार सत्ताधीशों की चाल के साथ ताल मिलाते हैं वे चरण किसी बालक या युवाओं के साथ भी कुछ करते दिखाई पड़ते हैं परम पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज ऐसे विलक्षण गुरु हैं जो छोटे से छोटी सेवा में भी सराबोर रूप सकते हैं ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट में सम्मानित उनको बावर्ची खाने में रसोई पकाते हुए न जाने कितनों ही उत्सवों में लाखों जिनके दर्शनार्थी आए, जिनके चरणों में पुष्पांजलि समर्पित करते थे।
He'll be also coming here 2012 summer. So if you'd like to
जिनकी आरती उतारकर कृतार्थ होते थे, वैसे परम पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज इतने सम्मान के बाद भी सेवा हो सके।
being built in the States, and so every 4 years or so he comes for like occasions like this and to give his like lessons. And so since in just Canada alone, this is the 800, he's visiting here as well.
चार्टर्ड हवाई जहाज हो या ट्रेन के थर्ड क्लास की मुसाफिर, अत्याधुनिक सुविधा सज्ज मोटर कार या पैदल,
Yes, he's like a mentor.
बुद्धिजीवी सत्ताधीशों का सहवास हो या अफ्रीकन श्याम सुंदरों का साथ, या कुटीर में रहने वाला आदिवासी, विश्व के धर्म धुरंधर के साथ मुलाकात या किसी आम आदमी से मिलना, परम पूज्य प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज की आंखें एक सदी के प्रेम और करुणा से तरल है। उनकी पारदर्शी आंखों में छुपी हुई आध्यात्मिकता सबकी पर रोशनी और उसे देखकर अंतरात्मा पुकार
Jai Saminar, welcome to the 2011 annual Janmashtami celebrations of the Sri Saminar Mandir, Toronto. Janmashtami marks the birth anniversary of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, and one that fosters the significance of Dharma, meaning righteousness in our lives. Today, we're very fortunate to have very special guests among us and join us in our celebrations. We have present here with us our very own Honorable Dalton McQuinty, Premier Ontario. Alongside the Premier, we also welcome Dr. Helena Joseph, MVP Oak Ridges and PA to the Minister of Environment. Deepika Darnola, candidate from the Saga East Coastal, and father of Dr. Shafiq Qadri, MVP Etobicoke North. Honorable Dalton McQuinty is Ontario's 24th Premier, becoming the leader of Ontario Liberal Party. In 1995, he led the party to government in 2003 and once again in 2007. On behalf of the BAPS family, please help me welcome once again Honorable Dalton McQuinty, Premier of Ontario. I now request Jagannath Swami, the head saint of BAPS Canada, to formally welcome Premier McQuinty. Premier McQuinty was also with us in 2007 during the grand opening of the BAPS Sri Saminar Mandir in 2007. Janmashtami is now giving a special memento marking Premier McQuinty's visit to BAP Sri Swami Mandir, Toronto.
What does the red dot mean?
The BAP Sri Swami Mandir complex in Toronto, in addition to serving as a place of worship and a spiritual solace for thousands of Hindus and Indo-Canadian members across Canada, it also plays a vital role in Ontario and in Canada in the areas of economic, social, community, humanitarian, and youth activities. Mr. Premier, BAPS has made Ontario its home, and for many individuals like myself and many others, thousands others, of the Indo-Canadian heritage who were born and raised here. In fact, this is a really great place for us, and we thank BAPS, and I'm sure that you too are also pleased that BAPS has chosen Ontario as its home. As you know, after the inauguration, where you too were present in 2007, along with His Holiness Janmashtami Maharaj, you'd be happy to learn on some of the facts and the magnitude of impact that BAPS Canada has had throughout the nation. Since opening, the complex has become the forefront leader within the Indo-Canadian community and the broader Hindu community. BAPS is the largest institution in Canada, both structurally and by the size of its members and volunteers. Since opening, this magnificent structure has attracted 250,000 individuals and visitors on an annual basis, with a total of 1 million till now. Over 150 school trips have been planned, have already been here. And in fact, we wish we could accommodate more, and hopefully we can in the future, to have more kids come and learn about the Indo-Canadian heritage. This has become an excellent place for interfaith relationship and bridging across various communities. Leading statistics also show that this place has become the most photographed place in Toronto, owing to the sheer magnificence of this structure. BAPS has become an integral part in providing family support programs and activities to over thousands of families and individuals across Canada. In fact, a lot of the new immigrants, too, are also benefiting from such social programs as they make Canada their new home every year. A global focus across 5 continents, with the mandate of driving local change, our charitable causes such as walkathons, health fairs, women's conferences, leadership conferences, humanitarian activities have touched millions across Canada. This is evidenced by our long-lasting relationship with organizations such as Sick Kids Foundation, Heart and Stroke Foundation, the Princess Margaret Foundation, the CNIB, and many more. With an annual growth rate of over 30% in our youth activities, this place provides a lot more than just worshiping and also praying. This place for young youth and kids, like myself, has provided not just an ability and guidance in spirituality, but also, development in professionalism, career, education, and much more, building bridges within families and across communities. This is an all-rounding place, to really put it in short. Mr. Premier, you'll be very happy to learn that over 99% of our youth in the past 25 years has attended university, and over 40% have taken on post-grad programs at leading universities in Canada. Now, these youths are forefront leaders in areas such as business, law, engineering, R&D, teaching, and even architecture. This is an investment in the future of Canada, and that is one of the biggest motto for BAPS. His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj's vision and inspiration is to foster a value-based living in individuals so they can become self-serving leaders in today's communities in Canada. This is just a glimpse of BAPS in 4 years, but this is just the beginning. In fact, this is now where we stand with our motto and vision. We will make Ontario an unmatchable province and Canada an unmatchable country. This is the impact of BAPS over the last 4 years. It is now my great pleasure to request Premier McQuinty to come to the podium and address the Assembly for the rest of the celebrations. Thank you.
Jai Swaminarayan. And Ankit, thank you for that very kind introduction and wonderful description of the tremendous work that is being done here. Jan Priyadas Swami, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, families, boys and girls. It's a privilege to visit with you once again. And may this Janmashtami bring you happiness, love, and good wishes for all. I certainly consider myself to be very honored to be here today on this important occasion. You know, there's a reason that this Mandir is one of the most popular buildings during Doors Open in Toronto. And it's not just because of the spectacular architecture. It's also because it's a beautiful gathering place that brings us all closer together. And on behalf of all Ontarians, I want to thank you for sharing your traditions, your culture, and your faith. It's immediately apparent when I had a chance to chat with some of the folks on the Board of Trustees here, and to get a better understanding of all the development taking place here, all the people who are coming from faraway places to visit here, that this is much more than a place where you practice and celebrate your faith. It's also a place where you are reaching out to other faiths and sharing what it is that inspires you. And I thank you for that. I want to take this opportunity as well to thank you for everything that you have done to help us answer a very important question that so many are asking in Ontario today, which is, what do we have to do to grow stronger? I think you're all familiar with some of the stories that we hear about the uncertainty and the unpredictability in the global economy. You've heard a little bit about the challenges that we're experiencing in the US economy. You've heard a little bit about some of the contagion, economic contagion spreading among the European Union countries. And so we ask ourselves here in Ontario, what do we need to do to grow stronger? What can we do to protect the strength and well-being of our economy so that we can continue to support good schools for all our families, good health care for all our families, and to ensure that we have good jobs. But for 8 years now, it has been my privilege to lead Ontarians as we work together to grow stronger. We have stronger schools. We have not had a single teacher strike in 8 years. Our class sizes are smaller. Our test scores are higher. Our graduation rates are higher. Ankit a moment ago talked about how important it was for young people in your community to pursue their education, to achieve their potential. I was very pleased the other day to read some of the papers about how well South Asian youth are doing in Ontario high schools. We're at the very top of the class. Congratulations to you, but especially to the mothers and fathers. Thank you for helping your children understand how important it is to study hard and do well at school. Thank you for encouraging them and helping them with their homework when that's called upon. For 8 years, we've been building stronger healthcare as well. We built 18 new hospitals, hired 11,000 more nurses, 2,900 more doctors. We used to have the longest wait times in the country, now we have the shortest wait times in the country. 1.3 million more Ontarians now have a family doctor. All families need access to good schools, but they also need access to good health care, just in case you need it. We've been working hard to make our health care stronger. We've also been working very hard to make our economy stronger. I'm pleased to report that since January of this year, Ontario has created more jobs than the rest of the country combined. In fact, June was such a good month for our economy, we created more jobs in Ontario than the rest of Canada and the United States combined. And we're doing some important things to make ourselves stronger. We're rebuilding our electricity system. There's a cost associated with that. We understand that, but there's no escaping that. We've got to make sure when we turn the switch on, the lights come on, the air conditioning comes on, the lights come on in our schools, in our hospitals, in our industrial complexes, office buildings, and the like. So we're helping families cope with those costs. We're taking 10% off your electricity bill, every electricity bill. We're also building a stronger tax system. Again, that's not necessarily an easy thing to do, but it's an important thing for us to do. So we've cut taxes, income taxes for our families. $355 is what the typical Ontario family is paying less by way of income taxes this year and every year going forward. We've also adopted the HST because it makes us stronger. It makes us more competitive. It helps us create more jobs. We're also, and this is the second last thing I'll mention in terms of strengthening our economy, we're building an exciting new clean energy industry. We're learning how to harness the power of the sun and the wind. That's going to help us create 50,000 new jobs in Ontario. And my vision is to ensure that we lead this race in North America. We're the #1 producer of cars in North America. I want us to be the #1 producer of clean energy technologies, wind turbines and solar panels in North America. I'm also very much looking forward to returning to India. In 2012, we'll be leading my 3rd trade mission to India. And I can tell you it's an honor for me to be able to do that. We're also going to do more to help immigrants settle here, get the services that they need to grow stronger, quickly. We've invested $900 million in our settlement service programs, and I've made some recent announcements about how we're going to strengthen that. But here's the part of the message that I've most been looking forward to. I want to speak to a moment to all the mothers and fathers, and all the grandmothers and grandfathers. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for choosing Ontario. I want to thank you for passing on your faith and your culture and your traditions and your values and your ways of life to your children and your grandchildren. That's not just important to you, it's important to all of us because it makes us stronger. You and I have embarked upon this magnificent adventure that we call Ontario, Canada. And we're trying to listen to all the wise advice offered by the wisest people that have ever lived for thousands of years. The same wise advice offered by all the world's great faiths, including your faith. And that wisdom and that little space tell us the same thing. When it comes to people everywhere, what matters most is not the color of your skin. It is not the language that you speak. It is not the culture that you inherit. It is not the traditions that you cherish. It is not the wealth that you accumulate. And it's not the power that you wield. What matters most when it comes to people everywhere on this tiny home that we share, this planet Earth, what matters most is what we have in common. It's our humanity. My friends, we're on the right track, and we're doing the right things. They're not all easy. But you know who my most important political inspiration is? My mother and my father. And as I watched them raise their 10 children, I noticed they didn't just do easy things. They did hard things for us. They sacrificed for us. This magnificent province, with its strong, stable economy and its wonderful quality of life, didn't just happen. The people before us built it, and they worked hard. And from time to time, they sacrificed in order to secure a bright future for us. They built our schools, and our hospitals, and our roads, and our bridges, our places of science, our places of culture, our magnificent institutions of faith. They built all that. Now it falls to our generation to pick up where they left off and to work as hard as we can for our children and our grandchildren. And if you're ever looking for inspiration, remember your mother, remember your father, remember your grandmother, remember your grandfather, and everything that they did to ensure that you enjoyed opportunity, that you were safe and secure and could look forward to your future with a sense of hope and optimism. So I thank you all once again on behalf of 13 million Ontarians for everything that you do to enrich our quality of life here in Ontario, the greatest province and the best country in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Premier McQuinty, for those kind words. Thank you. Like Premier McQuinty said, passing on values is a core part of not just our culture, but also of all of Canada. Keeping in line with that, Premier Maharaj has also the same motto, that in the joy of others lies our own, and in the progress of others lies our own. And in fact, he's been doing that for the last many decades. Today, with great pleasure and fanfare, we are celebrating the birth anniversary of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Devotees across the globe spend the day immersed in Sri Krishna's glory by reciting, singing, and celebrating the divine acts at various mandars across the globe. We will be taking part in the Maha Arati. In fact, the very first one at the BAP Sri Saminar Mandir, during which we will welcome God with lighted lamps. Following the Arati, a unique cultural dance has also been organized by little kids. In fact, during her arrival, they were overjoyed and they worked extra hard. So we look forward to that as well. Lastly, the image and murti of Sri Krishna will, as we see on the stage, has been decorated with flowers, and there'll be a special ritual marking the birth anniversary of Lord Sri Krishna. On this very occasion, His Holiness Brahma Maharaj has also sent a special message from India. A message emphasizing peace, harmony, mutual understanding, inspiring devotees to lead a pure life based in spirituality, free of addictions, and becoming leaders in the communities we live in. This is the message on behalf of Brahma Maharaj from India. As we continue through the rest of the evening, I request everyone to please maintain silence. Within a very few moments, we will begin our ceremony of Maha-Arati. So please, everybody, I request everybody to maintain silence, and we will begin the ceremony in just a few seconds. And I request Premier Dalton to take part in the Maha-Arati alongside Puja Shanto.
સર્વ હરિભક્તોને ખાસ વિનંતી કે આપણે આરતીને વ્યવસ્થિત કરીશું. બાળકોને આપણે વિનંતી કરીએ કે સ્વયંસેવકોને પોતાની આરતી આપી દે. આપણે આરતી કાર્પેટ પર ના પડે તેનું ખાસ ધ્યાન રાખીએ. સર્વ હરિભક્તોને ખાસ વિનંતી કે સેફટી ઇસ્યુને કારણે આપણે ખાસ ધ્યાન રાખીએ કે આરતી કાર્પેટ પર ન પડે. શાંતિથી આપણે તેને મૂકી દઈએ. હજુ પણ પ્રીમિયર આપણા સભામાં વિરાજમાન છે. આપણે સૌ શાંતિ જાળવી સર્વ હરિભક્તો સ્વયંસેવકો જે પ્રમાણે સૂચના આપે તે પ્રમાણે જ આપણે આગળ વધીએ.
this event would not have been possible. Please join me in thanking everybody in the staff. Premier, special guests, and members of the audience, thank you for joining us on this very occasion of Janmashtami. We will now wait until Premier McQuinty takes exit, and following departure, I now request management to take over. Thank you. We're also very pleased to have with us here today special guest Dr. from and the candidate in studies. We're very pleased to have you there as a special guest on this very occasion of Janmashtami.
સભાના વિદાય શ્લોકનું દાન કરી ઠાકોરજી તથા સંતોના દર્શન માટે આવીશું.
Janmashtami
How's it going? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you, eh? Yeah. How are you? Nice to see you. How's it going? Good, good. Cold hand, warm heart. Hey? How are you? Nice to see you, ladies. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. How's it going?
Okay.